Hey Utopians, how's it going? This is Mark again. I just wanted to take you guys through the process of utilizing the sheet that I shouted out to you guys on Twitter last week, and I really want to show you some angle creation and how we can go about creating different angles, okay? So I have a whole bunch of different tools pulled up here. Today, the product that I'm going into is definitely something out of my comfort zone, all right? The product is the Power Punch Pro. Something that people in MMA train with to increase their striking force and just overall efficiency in the ring, stamina, everything like that. So typically I'm writing for alternative apparel, clothing brands, things like that. So this is definitely a step out of my comfort zone, but I'm going to take you through the entire process. And really a lot of this comes down to research. Okay, so everything involved here is going to stem from your ability to do research on your product, on your market, and on your audience. And so this copywriting methodology is by no means comprehensive. I'm always building it out and trying to develop it and make it better for people to use. But with that being said, there's going to be holes in it, and I hope that we can exploit some of those holes here today. Okay, so work together and definitely drop as many comments as you guys have on any holes that you see in this methodology. I want to improve this. I want this to be something that is pretty streamlined for people. So if you're having a bad day or you're having a day where you just have writer's block, you can come down, sit in this sheet for a while, stare at the wall, whatever it is that you have to do, smoke some weed, and get to it, okay? Because the majority of this is, again, going to be research, brainstorming, coming up with ideas, getting creative, okay? That's what we do. We get creative as copywriters. So, without further ado, this product is pretty straightforward. It's one product, so very easy to write for in that sense. I'm not having to do too much research. And my niche, again, is the fighting angle. Okay, so when I think of a fighter, I think of Conor McGregor. Very easy to go to. All right, we could do Khabib, but right now I'm really thinking about Conor. So what I did was I spent some time going through Conor's Twitter, all right, and just seeing how he speaks to people, right? He speaks to his audience in a certain way. And there's a certain ego about this man that is going to drive that attention. There's a certain crowd of people that like this drive. Okay, so you can go through, do the same type of research I'm doing, find people who are influential for the product that you're selling, and then understand how they speak to their audience, understand how their audience engages with them. Okay, and then another thing that you can do is look for forums. Okay, so I spent some time in this forum just looking for gold nuggets, for ways that people speak about training, ways for people speak about getting into their emotions, getting into their groove, their diet, whatever it is. Anything that pertains to fighting, I pretty much wanted to do as much research as possible on, okay? So jumping back to the sheet, we're going to start from the top. Very straightforward. Hopefully some of you guys have utilized this already, but so we start with the date and product. It's the Power Punch Pro, and it's 10/22 today. Product description, I pull straight from the product, okay? I just came down here, pulled straight from this section where they're giving me the most, the most energy out of this product. And so we study this, okay? You start with a product description, you study it. A lot of these are going to be selling points for you as you go about writing for writing these types of ads for Facebook. And then we can come down here. Hopefully you guys followed along this. Think about your creative. Again, I mentioned this before, but think about the creative, the actual, whether it's a photo, video, static, GIF, whatever it is. Think about it. Think about what that image says to you. Think about the body language the person or the product has in that photo or video, and really utilize this to understand what type of copy you want to create around it. All right. So when it comes to age, think about how they speak. If it's an 18-year-old audience, they're going to speak completely different than someone who's 35. All right. I'm right in the middle of that age group, so I can kind of relate to my younger cousins, for example, that are just getting out of high school. And then also some of the other people that I work with that are older in this industry. So you really have to think about how these individuals speak, all right? That's why it's important to spend time on social platforms and follow the actual, influencers that are big in that product's particular wave or niche, okay? Then the next thing is the creative type. Again, this goes back to relaying your visual information to the information that they're going to be reading on your ad. So you want to understand, is this a young crowd? Again, they want fast transitions, they want slick aesthetics, they want innovative angles. All of that stuff is a little bit newer. Adults, same thing. You can use strong static images, informative videos, including a functionality that's going to help a pain point, and then strong feature angles. Okay, so you want to really get into depth because older people are going to do more research, and that's, that could be a little biased to say, but just from my experience, that's what I find. And so you guys can tell me if you have any differentiating angles, or if you've experienced something any different from what I've experienced, because I'm open to learning and growing with you guys too. So with that being said, elders, use some UGC. They like to see proof, all right? They want to see reviews. They want to see people speaking about the product. Obviously, UGC works all across the board, but with elderly people, they want strong feature statics, images that are easy for them to digest, videos that show pain points being alleviated by a service or product. Again, use UGC. These age groups really want to see somebody that's having their pain alleviated in some way, shape, or form. Obviously, again, all of them do, but when I'm speaking to a certain age group, I want to really think about how I can provide as much value to them as possible, because they're not going to be as quick to pull the trigger. In some cases with certain products, they may be, but again, that's why we do research, all right? So the next thing is the sex, okay? So psychologically, people like to see themselves in a position of use for the certain product. So if you're selling to males, make sure a male's in that image, okay? Unless it's a very particular product that's selling, something sexual. Even then, on Facebook, you might not see too much of that. So make sure that it's an embodiment of the person that you're trying to sell to. If it's a female product, make sure a female's in the photo or the video. That's pretty straightforward. All right. The persona. Okay, this is more intensive research, but you want to build the person you're writing for in your head. And I know this sounds kind of weird. This is like a creative writing exercise. So if I'm doing it for PowerPunch Pro, for example, I'm building a fighter in my head. I'm building somebody who has no excuses for missing training, somebody who works hard, who eats right. And I'm picturing this certain individual, and I'm getting as creative as, their daily habits, how they speak, what they're into, what they're watching at the end of their night, if they're even watching, if they're just reading. It just really, you want to get as super cut and clear in your own mind. Take some time, write it out. You can use it on a Google Doc or on a piece of paper. Just write out a persona, okay, and create this person in your mind. Are they positive or negative? Are they passionate? Are they expressive? What do they like to do? Ask these questions while you're reading some reviews and see if you can build an actual person that you're going to be selling to in your mind, okay? The next thing here is exploits. What is that person's weakness? From the persona, what makes them weak? What do they hate? And how would you poke their ego? How would you antagonize them? Obviously in a moral and ethic way, but when we're selling to somebody, we want to poke that ego, okay? It's very important that we do that because we want these people to be like polarized. We either want them to say, oh, fuck you, or agree with you. Like, yeah, hell yeah, that's exactly how I feel about this, okay? That's very important. The next thing are pain points. What are they sick of? What are these people looking for to make their life easier? Okay, even if they say they have no excuses for, whatever their behavior is, they always are looking to alleviate pains. We all are. As human beings, that's what we're looking for. Psychologically, we want to alleviate as much pain as possible. All right, so what do you see them complaining about? If you could make their problem disappear, how would they react? Okay, think about those things when you're writing. The next thing is affirmations. How could you make them say, yes, I totally agree with you, or, that's spot on? What makes them agreeable? All right, that's very important. Once again, think about that in your copy. So those 6 aspects right there are very dangerous, and they'll be very, very helpful to you as you go about, writing out your copy. The next thing that we get into is spin selling. Okay, so this is very straightforward. Again, understand the situation your prospect is in, find out and have the prospect verify their current problems. That's through reviews. You're going to find that in the review section a lot, okay? Implication. What are the second, third, and fourth order causes of this problem? How many issues are they having with this problem, and what takes precedence for them? For the PowerPunch Pro, for example, in this product, people are not getting consistent workouts, okay? They may be lacking accountability. They may not have anyone to train with, all right? Those are some pain points, okay? And then you have to list them out and figure out which one takes precedence. How many people have the first issue, implication in common? That's gonna be your lowest hanging fruit, all right? The next thing here is need payoff. Does the value of fixing all these problems weigh more than the action to purchase the solution? All right, so is having a training partner worth $60 to somebody? In my mind, I would say yes, but let's figure that out. Let's find out in the reviews. Let's find out what people are saying about the product, all right? So spin selling, very straightforward. Again, the next thing that we get into is awareness. Again, on Facebook, we're gonna be dealing with the most aware and product aware for the most part. If you're writing for something completely different, these three aspects are way more labor intensive as far as research goes. But for Facebook, Facebook's doing most of the work for us. So we get to utilize the most aware and product aware. Okay. And we're trying to win in these two stages. Okay. So let's get into the Power Punch Pro. For this angle in particular, and what I've written out, I'm going after accountability, I'm going after their ego, and I'm going after Life Force 6, okay? And if we come over here to the marketing psychology sheet, Life Force 6 is to be superior, winning, keeping up with the Joneses, all right? So in my case, to be superior and winning. As a fighter, it's a solo sport. You're looking to dominate everybody else in your weight class. Doesn't matter, who their team is behind them. It's an individual, egotistic idea that you should be the best in your weight class. Okay, so that's what I'm going to target with this. So as far as holidays coming up, we have Black Friday, Cyber Monday coming up pretty soon. In this scenario, I would try to make an improvement by having a bundle of some sort ready for these individuals, and that would mean another product that coincides with the Power Punch Pro. Just to raise up the average order value. But for now, that's more of a media buying aspect. That's more of a strategy aspect, and we won't get too far into that. So this is where we start our research, okay? And so as I touched on, looking at Conor McGregor's Twitter, you know what I mean? Doing research in here, doing research within the community and finding out how MMA fighters speak to each other, how they train, how they talk, how they eat. All of that information is super valuable to me. Okay, so you want to do a lot of research. That'll take up, a good hour or two. If you're being really thorough and you're really trying to write compelling copy, you're going to spend a lot of time researching, all right? The next thing that I'm going to do is RSL. Okay, so this is how I write out all my ad copy. This is what it comes down to. So we start with reviews. Reviews are the lowest hanging fruit, so let's start there. So I pulled a couple of reviews from the product itself. And this is very easily, displayed, and we want to speak in their language, all right? So I was pleasantly surprised to see how well made the equipment is. They really paid attention to the smallest details, and everything feels high quality. Shout out to Jessica for the great customer service too. Okay, so on and so forth. We've got two more reviews here. Pretty straightforward. You can tell that these people are utilizing it for kickboxing and MMA. Awesome. Now let's get into what I actually wrote here, and you guys can definitely take from this angle creation that I'm utilizing. So it's true. The real reason you're not leveling up is because you're missing the accountability. We're all human, and training consistently always brings the same struggles. That's why we created the Power Punch Pro. This equipment doesn't only boost your energy, endurance, and vitality in the ring, it can help you gain serious strike force, all while training your speed and agility. We built this for everyone, beginner to pro. We're here to make an impact and keep you accountable in the form of fitness. Join the mission. Find out why fighters of all levels are turning to the Power Punch Pro to take their striking to the next level. Okay, so that is compelling in my mind. It's in between short form and long form. It's still telling a story. It's also still striking at people's egos, right? So this first statement, very polarizing again. If you want to stop the scroll, right? If someone's scrolling and they see this, they're going to say bullshit. Perfect. That's exactly what I want them to say, because I want them as a copywriter to read from sentence 2 to sentence 3, so on and so forth. The more I can get that person to read, the more engaged I get them and the closer I am to selling them on my product, okay? Especially with Facebook. So that's the first one, all right? The second one that I wrote, a little bit more traditional short form. Take responsibility for your training and fight for your right to train at the highest level with Power Punch Pro. Whether you have a training partner or not, we just pushed you to level up. Find out why thousands of fighters all across the world are utilizing the Power Punch Pro for their training daily. Okay, again, I'm using a curiosity bias here with this find out why. So that is insinuating that people are utilizing this product to level up. Okay, that's something that's going to be dangerous. Again, we want these people to feel like they're missing out on something. That FOMO is very powerful. Obviously something that we want to take into account with our audience. And for our audience here, I think they're probably, 18 to 35, maybe even older. There are a lot of fighters in their, in their senior years and continuing to practice, but maybe not at this same level of competition. The next thing here, this is another really big poke at the ego, okay? You don't want to get caught in the ring with someone who has been training with the Power Punch Pro. Right there in that first headline, we're just insinuating that this product is making somebody level up, okay? This product is going to put you above the next person, and you don't want to get caught without it. Again, I'm using FOMO in this situation. While you've been slacking, ego poke, they've been gaining some serious striking force, speed, and agility features, okay? No more excuses for lousy sessions. Ego poke, no partner necessary. It's time to get to work. That's a straight... That's literally something that is one of the biggest issues that people are having. No partner necessary. I just addressed that for you. Find out why fighters all over the globe are achieving find out what fighters all over the globe are achieving with the Power Punch Pro. Take your training to the next level. All right? Again, very straightforward. And then we move on to long form. Okay, long form is something that you should always test. Test all three of these different aspects. Sometimes reviews will just crush it for you. Sometimes long form will be really necessary. It's the hardest form to write, but it is the most essential. All you want to do is tell a story, okay? Build this dream. Use something that's going to entice them, something that they can taste, all right? You want it to be spicy. So what's holding you back from achieving your dream fighting form? All right, why is it that some people can become the absolute greatest in the ring and others struggle to keep their striking consistent, their focus in check, and their stamina on point? Accountability. We as humans need companions, partners, teammates, and coaches to keep us in line with our goals. That's why we created the Power Punch Pro. This tool was designed to help you overcome you, the you who can't find the will to buckle down and focus, the you who skips out on extra striking drills, the you who keeps you from achieving your perfect fighting form. The Power Punch Pro doesn't only boost your stamina, endurance, and vitality, it can help you gain serious striking force, all while increasing speed and range. We built this for the fighters, beginner to advanced. We built this to spread the truth in the form of fighting fitness. Join the mission. Get over your barriers. What's your excuse? All right, so again, very compelling, straightforward, calling people out, and that is what this industry, in my eyes, from the research that I've done, is looking for. They want someone to call them out. So I'm speaking to them as if I was a fighter training in their same gym, and I'm talking shit to them. All right, that's going to get somebody amped up. And then they're going to see that I'm using this product, and hopefully they'll want to use it too. That's the end goal, all right? Then we get down to headlines. And the reason I have it structured like this, again, body copy, to headlines to description, is because that's how you build it within Facebook. So this makes it very easy once you're done writing to just click, copy, and paste it straight into Facebook. Again, we'll jump into some headlines really quick. Conquer your inconsistency, but the gyms are closed. No champion ever. Unleash your inner champion, and champions don't make excuses. That's again, all ego pokes, and that's the angle that I'm taking for this product in particular. And then lastly, we have descriptions, okay? So train like a world-class fighter, increase your striking force, become a 5-star fighter. I use these stars because I really think these look native within Facebook's platform. So when you get it all built out, it does look really clean at the end of the day. But that's pretty much it, guys. That is how I go about, building out brand new ads for people, doing angle creation. You guys really should utilize the screenshots. If you haven't saved them to your computer, make sure you do. These are exactly how you want to create angles, okay? You want to utilize one of these, a couple of these 9 secondary ones. I use curiosity a lot. I use efficiency if it's a product that's going to be alleviating pain. I use convenience, dependability, and quality. I don't use bargains too much because I'm not trying to give everybody a deal. I want to prime people. So I want to sell the product based off of need, not based off of a good price. But definitely utilize these. And if you haven't looked into the 25 cognitive biases, please take some time to do this, okay? Go through each one of these and write down the definition. You can Google it. It'll have them all laid out for you. These will up your level when it comes to writing, okay? So go through all of these just as an exercise. If you're a writer, you definitely need to spend some time here. You have the 5 stages of awareness within that sheet, so you don't need to worry about that. I still would study these. You have spin selling within that sheet, so again, still study them, understand them. Understand the 8 human emotions. We all know what they are innately, but study them as a tool for you to utilize. And then lastly, if you guys need a marketing psychology reading list, which I suggest you all take time to read because that will up your writing game a ton, okay? Here's a list of all those books for you so you can screenshot this moment. But other than that, I hope that you guys found this very useful. And I would like to develop this and make it more streamlined. So if you guys have any criticism, please let me know. I'd love to improve and grow together with you guys. So I hope you all have a beautiful day, and make sure that you do your part. All right, go vote if you haven't voted yet. That's very important. All right, take care, you guys. Bye.